because we trained in North Carolina for a while. We went out west to a place that I can't say, but I'm sure you know what it is. And then we went to Jalalabad, Afghanistan. We forward staged there because President Obama had 5 options, and we were one, so we want to be right there. What he said was totally cool. And this is a moment that actually brought the nation together. There was no politics. Like, this guy needs to die, and we're going to do it. And President Obama said, he said it after the fact, I was never convinced bin Laden was there, but I was convinced you guys could go find out and come back. And I didn't think we were going to live. I thought we were going to die for sure. This is a one-way mission. So before we launched, Admiral Bill McRaven, I love that guy. He came into a room. He's giving us the pep talk, which we don't need. We don't think. And he said, all right, guys, so last night I watched my favorite movie, Hoosiers. And there's a scene where this team from Hickory, Indiana, this small town, the kids have never left the town. Now they're playing in Indianapolis for the state championship, and they walk in this arena, and they're looking around, and they're starstruck. And he said, all right, hey, get the tape measure. What's the distance from the back of the rim to the free throw line? And they're like, 15 feet, coach. Okay, now get on his shoulders. What's the distance from the rim to the floor? And they said, 10 feet, coach. And he goes, you'll find these are the exact same measurements in your gym in Hickory. This is just a bigger crowd. And he said, you guys do this every night. This is just a bigger crowd. So we're leaving, and I said, hey, Admiral, you're so busy right now because you sold this to the world that I doubt you watched Hoosiers last night, but you were born to give us that speech right now. And then I'm with my friends, and we stood around the fire, smoked some cigars, gave each other hugs, and we got helicopters, and we left.
Wow.
And so now we're flying into Pakistan, and we have a 90-minute flight. And this is a flight that we know we're going to get shot down. This is a first world country with first world Chinese or Russian made or American made anti-air defense. We're going to get shot down. But worrying about it isn't going to change it. So I'm not going to worry about it. Like, we're flying into Pakistan, and I'm trying to see how my guy, I got Cairo, the dog. There's a book about him called No Ordinary Dog. Amazing. Cairo was the best boy. And then I got another friend who's over here, and he's asleep. Like, he's got his headphones in, and he's sleeping. And I remember thinking, you're asleep on the ride to Osama Bin Laden's house. And I remember, like, the weirdest thing, I'm like, you've got ice in your veins, and I see why women find you attractive. So cool. And, so we're going to get shot down. There's going to be a fight as soon as we land.
Yep.
If anyone's going to blow himself up, and the whole house, when we're in it, Bin Laden, we're going to run out of fuel. And we're going to end up fighting the Pakistanis, either dying there or dying in a Pakistani prison, which is going to be a very short, painful life. We were so convinced that we weren't going to live. The guy that actually led me up the stairs, it was never planned that way. We just ended up, I just end up in places. He said, don't take this the wrong way. This is before the mission. He said, I'm going. 100% going. I just need to say it out loud to hear it. If we know we're going to die, why are we going? And that's a fair question. And we decided we're not going after Bin Laden for the fame. We're going after Bin Laden for the first Americans who fought al-Qaeda toe-to-toe, and they were on Flight 93.
Yep.
And they fought to the death after they voted, which is America. We're going for the single mom who dropped her kids off at elementary school on a Tuesday, and 45 minutes later, she jumped to her death out of a skyscraper because, if you can imagine, and no one knows what the hell's going on inside that tower at 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit, but when the better option is to look down and make a choice, and her last gesture of human decency was holding her skirt down, she was never supposed to be in the fight. We are, and that's why we're going. So those are the things we're thinking about. And at this point, it's like the fear is gone. People always say, man, what's it like to have no fear in combat? I'm like, I don't know. I was afraid every single time. And that's okay to be afraid because fear is natural. Don't panic. Panic is contagious. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. I'll prove to you that panic is contagious. Do you remember the great toilet paper debacle?
Yes.
Of 20? You know why that happened?
Because people panicked.
Because one person bought all the toilet paper and one other person saw him. And then he went to the other store and he bought, and someone saw him. And we panicked. I had a Navy SEAL call me. He was from Texas. He's kind of off the grid. And he said, hey, man, what's going on with the toilet paper? And I said, I don't know. And he goes, how's that a survival mechanism?
I have asked that every day.
And so my buddy said, if you think about it, toilet paper is not a requirement. It's just nice to have.
True.
She's like, I have a sink. I got a lake. So, anyway, I don't know why we're talking about toilet paper, but as long as you don't panic, and you're good. So we're at the point where it's like my man sleeping. All right. And the missile hitting us right now, my worry's not going to stop it. And great advice for life is if you're worrying right now about something that your worry's not going to affect, why are you wasting your energy?
Yeah.
Stop. Chill out. So we're chilling out. We're 80 minutes into so it's a 90-minute flight to live. We're 80 minutes in, and we bank to the south. And this sounds Hollywood. I have a tattooed on my arm, though, because I don't know how I remembered it, but I said, I was counting, 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 0, keeping my mind off and not worrying. And we banked to the south, and I'm like, 556, 557. Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended. No idea how. That's what President George Bush said on 9/11. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? And then it's like, oh, man, I'm on this mission. We're going to kill this dude. So we go to one more time. We bank another thing. The air crew, the crew chief, who doesn't get any credit, he's the guy keeping it flying. You know what he knew how to do? He knew how to open the door. Here's a guy with a family that if we get hit with a missile, he's just as dead as we are.
Very true.
No credit. Imagine if we couldn't figure out how to open the door. He knew how to do it. Boom, he opens it. We're looking out, and it's actually, Abbottabad, Pakistan is a resort town. And so there's electricity. I know from a map study there's a golf course. And we're flying in, and I kind of arrogantly said, this is some serious Navy SEAL shit we're about to do, right? This is it. And then the helicopter crashed in the front yard.
Yep.
The perfect plan was to have them fast rope in front of his house, which means the pilot hovers, ropes come out, snipers are guarding, guys fast rope, and they're going to go in the house and clear the other house. We are going to drop snipers off out here, and Cairo, the dog, and then my team's going to the roof. And then we're going to hit them this way. When we let our guys out, the pilot saw them crash land. They didn't crash. The pilot that was flying the first one realized, I can't hover. I can't power up. I'll kill everyone. So if I can turn it, I might be able to stick it to the wall. He made that decision like that and saved everyone's lives instead of killing everyone in that bird. Our pilot saw him do that, and he realized if he can't hover, I can't. And so he just sat down, and through effective communication, he said, get out. And I remember stepping out. I'm like, well, I guess we start from here.
Wow.
And so now we're outside, but I know what it looks like, and I know there's a door over here. And so we brought the breacher up, and a breacher is a methods of entry guy. He'll get you in. He'll pick the lock, he'll break the window, he'll blow the door. So he went up with a 7-foot charge of C6, which is a huge bomb. It'll blow open anything. And he blasted it, and it opened like a tin can, but there's a brick wall behind this double door, right? And so he turned around, he's like, failed breach, this is bad. And I said, no, this is good. That's a fake door. Nobody does that. He's in there. And then we went there's another door off to our right, which is in the center, and it's a carport where they come in and out. And we knew that opened. And I didn't know they crashed. So I gave them a courtesy of, hey, this is so-and-so, and I'm going to blast the carport. And they said, no, don't blast it. Oh, we'll open it. And it opened, and a thumb came out, and I recognized a glove. And now I'm at a point in life where I don't know how my team got in there, but it doesn't matter. They're just in there. And I can hear a gunfight going on. It's like a point in life. It doesn't matter why we're here. Stop bitching about it. We're just here. Keep moving.
Yep, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and so we went in there already in a fight, and then I went right to Bin Laden's house. I'm like, I forget everything else. I'm going in the house, and my guys are in there, and I'm watching them work. And what was awesome about it is I'm looking for. I'm in the back, and I'm looking for bombs because this is going to blow up, and we're in here, but none of my guys are affected by that. They're doing what they do, and the way they're working is slow as smooth as fast, and they're doing their stuff. They're working problems. I saw guys running around the house. And then we're under fire. We're in Bin Laden's, and they're grabbing kids that have got separated from their parents and bringing them over so they're not as afraid as they could be. And I remember thinking, that's what the good guys do.
Yep.
That's what we do.
And you never hear about that, ever.
Never. And then we got to a stairwell. The woman that found Bin Laden said, I don't know what it looks like, but you're going to run into a stairwell, and Khalid Bin Laden will be on the stairwell, and he will be armed. And here's how cool she was. She said, and if you can ace him, you get a shot at the big guy. Like, it's like, wow, and we ran into him. I saw guys, and I'm just watching still. I have a front row seat to one of the coolest missions in history. And then we went, they killed Khalid, and we went up to the second floor, and guys started to split off because you want to clear this area before you go to that one. And now we're down to 2 dudes. So I'm in the back, and I'm almost in the fight now. And there's one guy in front of me, and my job is to hold his shoulder and wait. And when we have enough, I want 4 more guys. I'll take 2. And his job is to do this, and my job is to do this. And he just he's looking through this curtain, and he could see people moving. And so he started saying to me something like, hey, we got to go. And what he's saying sort of is, those are the suicide bombers for sure. But if we go now, maybe we can beat them. Mm-hmm. And I remember it wasn't bravery. It was when I squeezed, he's just telling me, come on, we got to go. And finally it's like, all right, it wasn't bravery. It was like, we're going to die now, and I'm tired of thinking about it. Let's do this. So we went up the stairs, and he moved this curtain, and he jumped on what he thought were suicide bombers. So this guy absorbed a grenade that didn't go off, and because he went this way, I turned this way, and here's Osama Bin Laden standing there. And he's got his hands on his wife Amal's shoulders. And I remember looking at it, and the thought process was so fast. He had less than a second to convince me not to kill him, mm-hmm. but he didn't. And I remember thinking, he's a lot taller than I thought. He's skinnier than I thought. Skinny. His beard is white. That's his nose. I've seen him a million times. He's a threat. I got to shoot him. So I shot him twice when he was standing up, once more on the ground. And it was so fast. I moved Amal, and I looked down, and here's the humanity of war. People don't realize that these are people. And most people in a combat zone are not combatants. They're just trying to get on with their lives. And I looked down, and his 2-year-old son was standing there. And as a father, I was like, this kid has nothing to do with this.
Ugh, wow.
And so I pick him up and move him back. And then I turn around. So I was the only one in the room for a second. And then other Navy SEALs are now coming in there because we got thin. We didn't have as many guys we can only bring so many. And then I'm standing there. I can hear Bin Laden taking exhaling his last breath. I can see some stuff that sometimes when justice is served, you don't want to see what it looks like. I shot him at close range 3 times in the head. And I'm standing there. One of my guys comes up and he goes, "Are you good?" And I said, "What do we do now?" And he said, "Now we find the computers. We do this every night, hundreds of times. Come on." I said, "Yeah, you're right. I'm back. My God." And he goes, and his words to me, he's so cool. He goes, "Yeah, you just killed Osama Bin Laden. Your life just changed. Now get to work." And we did. We put him in a body bag, drug him out. We had to blow up the other helicopter because it was crashed. It crashed in the front yard, so we had to blow that up. And call in another helicopter for us. So our original helicopter, the first team got him with the body. We had some DNA, and we called in a second helicopter, which is, they don't get credit. Think about this. That's a whole new set of pilots, a whole new crew, and other Navy SEALs. And people don't realize on the Bin Laden raid, SEAL Team 6 rescued SEAL Team 6. Like guys from another squadron came to get us. And then we left. And now we're leaving, and that's how fast it was. Now we're leaving on a mission where we're supposed to die. But then I accepted death. But now it's like,
now what?
I might live. All we got to do is survive 90 minutes. We got to live for 90 minutes. If we cross the border to Afghanistan, we get 50 years. I get to see my kids. But worrying about getting shot down by a jet that we sold them isn't going to change anything. So we just started our watches, and I'm sitting next to the sniper that rescued Captain Phillips. Like, this is how tight this community is. And I'm looking at, there's another guy here on the rescue team. He actually said to me, he's from New York, and he said, "Who got him?" And I said, I did. And he said, "On behalf of my family, thank you." And now we're counting. But worrying about getting shot down is not going to stop it. But it's been 10 minutes. Now it's been 20 minutes. Now it's been 30. Now it's been 40. Now it's been 50 minutes. Got to get to 90 minutes, 60 minutes. And you start thinking about sports analogies, like when you're watching a no-hitter at the top of the 7th. Like, I'm not saying anything about it. I don't want to jinx it.
Don't jinx it.
But it's been 70 minutes. Now it's 80. We got to get to 90 minutes. And then one of my favorite movies is Miracle. It's about the hockey team. In 1980, they're college players, and they're obviously from Team USA, and they're playing the greatest hockey team ever assembled in the Russians. And at the end of it, they would have lost that game 9 out of 10 times, but now they're winning. Mm-hmm. And you can hear the crowd counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and and then the pilot came over the radio. It's cool, and I love pilots. They don't get I mean, the guy that flies an American doesn't get the credit because he's up there constantly saving your life, pretending he's calm. So anyway, we blah 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 blah, all this stuff. And the pilot came over the radio to keep you calm.
Yeah.
And the pilot came over the radio at 85 minutes because I'm assuming he was flying as fast as he could. And he said, "All right, gentlemen, for the first time in your lives, you're going to be happy to hear this. Welcome to Afghanistan." It's like,